I kind of glossed over Renotate Performance when we were talking about arrangement styles, but let's look at that feature now. I'm back with my A minor pop trio score, which we recorded in the last video. I'm just going to select the top line keyboard part, and you'll see that there's voice 2 information in there. It's not very neat, it hasn't come out very well at all. So what I can do is I can use the Renotate Performance feature to do exactly that. Now this is the closest thing that Sibelius has to what other DAWs would call quantize. Here we can either quantize down to quaver, semi-quaver or crotchet, say quarter note, 16th note or 8th note. I can also make sure it works with triplets, 1 or 2 voices per staff, arpeggiated chords, grace notes, and I can also choose to create a new instrument when we Renotate Performance. But in this case, all I want to do is to look across my keyboard part, tidy it up, put it all into the same voice. So now when we play back, it's all starting to look really good. So now let's do the same on the bass part. Renotate. This time it already knows that there are 16th notes in there, therefore it knows to be a bit more accurate. So let's hit OK. Tidies it all up. So now when I play back the whole thing, and depending on the complexity of your piece, or how well or how badly you played it, it will do a better or worse job. But generally, Renotate Performance can do a very good job of fixing most of the things that went wrong in flexi-time recording. Last thing I want to talk about is plugins. Now, plugins generally are not written by the programming team at Sibelius. They use a programming language called Manuscript, which was specially designed for Sibelius. Apparently it's very easy to write Manuscript plugins. I've never tried, I'm not that much of a code head. But some of the things you do find in the plugins section are very, very useful indeed. Now the drum pad on this score is not too bad, but it is a little bit shaky. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of that. And we'll repeat, just using the letter R, 4 times on those 4 bars. So we now have 16 bars of our track. And what I want to do is go in to plugins. In fact, I'll go back to the beginning first. Go to plugins. And you can see all the plugins that are relevant to notation input or no input are listed down here. And this is one of my favorites, add drum pattern. So it gives me the option of what type of drum pattern I want to add. And there are a few, and they're generally listed in style and BPM. So I have that one. We can add a metronome mark, but they're already there. No need to worry about an upbeat bar, not to worry about fills, and we won't worry about an outro bar. So let's add that, and it's now added me a professionally recorded drum pattern to my score. So without actually having to be a drummer, even though I am one, we can add a drum pattern to our score that sounds really natural. Instantly the track takes on a new feel and we have a really, really professional sounding rhythm track. There are loads of other plugins in here for you to explore. Adding hit points is something we'll talk about when we go and look at how Sibelius handles video. We can also colour our note heads, have different colour pitches, make pitches constant, paste in different voices. Some features that were originally plugins have been moved into the main ribbon. For example, Renotate Performance started life as a plugin, but obviously it is now a main ribbon feature. So it's worth having an explore through the plugins lists, and they are different for each tab. Obviously the text tab has plugins that are relevant to text. Play tab, different playback plugin options. But they are worth having a look through and getting familiar with. The only downside to plugins is that often, because they're not written directly by Sibelius, getting support for them might be more tricky than you'd hope, because obviously Sibelius didn't write them in the first place. So just to recap, in this video we've looked at transformations and how you can use the transformations to aid your productive process, renotate performance, some of the notes and rests plugins, and the 3 different versions of the arrange feature. Hope to see you again on the next video. Thanks very much for watching.